Hey everybody, Dan Buffa with you once again from Buffa's Buffet Podcast. Another special edition. Now, after doing a couple birthday toasts for my dad and my aunt, today's just going to be a special Mother's Day salute to all the moms, all the ones out there doing it right, sacrificing, your time, your energy, big part of your heart. It's not easy being a mom. Dads can only kind of probably observe about half of what moms go through. So we are indeed the supporting players in this story. If there was a movie and there was a star, it'd have to be the mom, especially if they're doing a damn good job. Because, there's the obvious 9 months of labor, and then there's the giving a shit that takes place after. But this podcast, and of course you moms out there that I happen to know, and I think it's great. I've got to know, a lot of powerful women in my family and a lot of people just through life's interactions and collisions getting to meet a lot of great moms. But this one's really for one particular mom, my mom. I just saw her. I just got her a bunch of roses for Mother's Day, which is good because my dad won't get her flowers, won't get her a gift. So I have to do that because that's the son's job sometimes. Whether or not the dad gets her something, I gotta show her some love. But I also just kind of want to come in here and, give her appreciation for being a great mom to 2 boys. Sometimes they still act like boys, even though they're in their 40s. My older brother Brian, and of course myself. I'm probably the least. I'm the smaller problem, but doesn't exactly make me completely easy. I go see my mom on a typical day, and I think that she is compelled to make a meal for me, even though there is gray in my beard and I am 44 years old. To a mom, that doesn't really mean anything. Does the boy have food in his stomach is basically what it is. So there's a pressure I can feel when I go see my mom. So I love her extra for that. Instead of just going, the heck with him, or she really, really wants to feed me food and make sure I'm okay. As my life has changed over the last year, she's been, she observes. My dad's more the louder spokesperson when it comes to anything they want to tell me about, getting divorced and being single and all that other crap. It's going to come through my dad and probably through the unfiltered, non-graceful tone of my dad other than my mom. My mom's kind of a keep to herself unless I really sought it out. But recently, when I was dating somebody really special, and my mom didn't know if it was still going or not, and probably the only time I've ever heard my mom have any interest or take in the last year is when she was like, "Is Dan still seeing that woman? He seemed really happy." It's like my dad reports everything that my mom tells me, because of course, me being the baby, she won't tell me face to face. So I get like the Beth Buffa news from my dad, again probably through the wrong filter of delivery, but I get it. But she was really excited. She really wanted to make sure that I was still seeing this person, that I was happy. A mom's endless goal is to make sure their kids are happy. I think the good ones. I think every woman that becomes a mom, I don't think men are going to be able to ever understand what goes into it to make a proper analyzation of what makes a good one or a bad one. But I've gotten to witness some pretty good moms lately, so I can see it in action. I can see when there's a movie line. Of course, leave it to me to compare it to a movie situation, but not the most satisfying movies to really bring up in the last year, but Marriage Story with Adam Driver and Scarlett Johansson, and part of their therapy, even when they're divorcing, is to write these little letters about the other person and describe how they are as a parent. And Adam Driver's character writes something that's always kind of stuck with me the past few years, that he writes about Scarlett Johansson, who's his wife in the movie, the mother. And she goes, when she plays, with the kids, interacts with the kids, she really plays. And I happen to know a few women, especially my own mom, who really play. They don't just say, "Okay, I had you, I'm your mom, I'm gonna make sure you have a meal in your stomach. Like my mom would come home from a long shift at Children's Hospital of Kings Highway, of taking care, trying to take care, trying to keep sick young infants and young kids alive. That was her job as a nurse. And I know they all didn't make it, so she had to bring that home and then take care of me and Brian. And it wasn't an easy situation. So it's not just being a mom, it's dealing with everything else in the world and then also being a mom. So she did a heck of a job. I mean, look at me, I'm still in one piece. I've come home. I did not eat her food this afternoon. I wanted to get out of there and do some Uber, but I did drop by and gave her flowers. But yes, she will drop everything to make sure that I have the biggest chicken sandwich ever composed in the last minute ever, because she's a great mom. But she looks after me. Doesn't say a lot, but when she does, it really does mean something. When Beth Buffa cares to step up and go, that's it. Because my dad, is the more boisterous one of the couple. And you can bet where I get a lot of my personality from. And it's from my dad. But my mom has always instilled, if I had a sweetness, even if sometimes maybe it came with an edge that I didn't get to see being the baby, there was still a sweetness there. But, so happy Mother's Day, Mom. I love you. Happy Mother's Day to all the women that I happen to know. Doing a hell of a job, making us guys look good, useful. But you're doing most of the work. So carry on and know that the right guys can appreciate the greatest of moms. If they don't, they're just stupid. And sorry, a lot of guys are stupid. We don't do it on purpose. We do this we try to look a little better to disguise the fact that we're not the greater sex. So thanks for keeping us around. And thanks to all the moms for getting up tomorrow and being a kick-ass mom again, and the next day, and the next day. It's an everyday job. So love you all and have a good day, and know that Monday is gonna come, but then Monday will die. And then Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday, and then it'll be the weekend again. So if anything, time moves, hopefully, not the heroicness of moms out there, because every day you gotta be a hero. I wish it was different. All right, everybody, thanks for watching, thanks for reading, thanks for tolerating, and be good with yourself.